I shared the screen now. Is it visible now? Hello?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Visible. Okay. Fine. Okay. So we will move ahead. Okay. So Readline, this document I have shared it in the package. So this is that URL. This this interface is part and parcel of Node.js. It is a very effective interface for reading the huge files. When you are dealing with huge files, this I'm just sharing it in the questionnaire. You can take this URL. So this is basically, these are all registering of events can be done for all this, and these are all the event method that gets called when the event is getting registered and the event is happening. These are all the methods gets called. So I just kept one file which is around 700 MB file. So when I want to open a file of this size, so I cannot put it everything in the memory. At the same time, I need to process the file. So I need to take line by line from the file, read the file, take the content from the file, process it, move on. So until the end of the file, I'll keep moving on. So this is a 700 MB file. I cannot keep it in the memory, especially when I'm dealing with concurrent users and so many users are working on the system. This is the same concept for the media as well. Media, instead of content reading, you will be streaming the video. Okay. So these are all the events for that. So line reading, rl.line, this is the line reading. Once I start reading the line, the event gets fired. I consume it. I can pass the line. That means I can pass the reading of line, and then I can close the entire file. At the end of the reading, once the file is completed, automatically the end method also will get called. So that means it will close the file. Automatically the close event will get called. It will close the file and it will come out of the thing. So I can read line by line on this file. So that is the read line package. That is an interface. This interface is default available. So read line, I'll just go to the same. Yesterday we have seen all this asynchronous, etc. Readline is also an asynchronous method. I comment it, I copy paste this again below, uncomment it, and also I use now readline. RL require readline. Right, so I'm now using this, and also I'm going to create a read stream, file read stream. So that is the read stream path. So this path I'm going to use for reading the file. So just copy paste that here. Before that, I want to give a path. I kept that file in my usual location. For bigger file and all, you need to manage the file from your side, or you create a file through Excel sheet, etc. These files are not cannot be shared, so don't expect that we'll share this file. I'm just going with my folder, upfill folder. This is my file size. I just comment it, sorry, copy paste. I put it here. This is my path .csv file. I hope up to this you are comfortable. I'm not going into child folder or anything. So I just path resolve path.join D drive upscale is a folder. This is my file name. This file I want to read it. So reading is generally done like this. Let read stream equals fs dot create read stream path p. I have to use p as path p. So this is I created a read stream as a, these are all called pointers. I created a pointer now, read stream as a pointer. So this how do I want to read the file? Uh, Generally reading of the file is always read option. It is not like a write option. It is always read option. That means it will be on the read only mode. So it will not, somebody can still write it onto that file. It doesn't stop that. So always read stream always opens the file in the read only mode. And I copy that interface now. Readline as an interface. So readline dot so RL, instead of say I'll use the same read line here, otherwise there will be a confusion. So read line RL is an interface, create interface, file stream, it is nothing but read stream for us. The read stream input is a read stream. Delay, that means infinite, means what happens is at the end of the line, if there is an empty line, I don't want to skip that empty, I want to skip that empty line, proceed further. I don't, because end of line in the CSV file or any of the file system, the end of the line is treated as an empty line. In our case, there can be a empty line really, but further there can be many lines below. So I don't want to stop it in between. So I use this control delay infinite. This is the standard settings that we generally give to ensure that it moves on. So read stream moves on. So I created an interface now. This interface needs to be registered. So the registration is done like this. rl.on. On is generally used for registration. Register or subscription. You call this as a subscription as well. So this is subscription. What it means is once I start reading the file, right, I work on that particular data. So read on line, then I give my ln is my read line. Whatever I read, I'm pushing it to a function, arrow function, and I give what you want to process the data here. RL is nothing but an interface. I created an interface. Now I am registering the subscription. That means when I read on line, it will start reading the data, and of course now as soon as it starts, it will start working. It will start its activity. It will start reading this line. So because it is online, when file is given, when file exists and read line started, it will start reading the line. ln is the content of the line, right? So it will start reading the content of the line. So what I'll do here is let number of line equals 0. This is one way of doing it. This is called subscription way of reading the line. Another way of doing is for loop. For I can go with that also. I just kept it for the reference. I'm not given. So this is subscription mode. I'll just take it from for await. Read the line and go through the loop, constant line of RL. RL is nothing but our read line, right? I can do it in this way also. This is another way of dealing with the reading of the line, but this will read line by line. This is for loop, why await and all I will let you know. So for loop, I am reading from RL. RL is nothing but my interface. Already I am reading that from ReadStream. This RL I am going through for await, for loop. If I don't want await, you can leave it like this, constant line of RL. Line is nothing but the content of RL, the content of the line. It is RL is now treating it as an array. So that interface, one you can go with the subscription mode, another one you can go with the this kind of mode where you can use the loop. It all depends on how you want to go ahead with. If you read say 1000 lines, you want to have a break, you want to breathe for 5 seconds, you can do that. All that you can do because you are having a line count, you can manage in any way you want. So let us go with subscription. I'll just leave it at this. I comment this. Then RL dot on close. If end, if the object is done, I'm at the end of the line. There is no return statement for this. I can say console log end I came to the end of file. Right? I just put console log. For time being, what I'll do is I'll read this class2 document.html because it's a simple content we all know. I'll read it, then I'll go for the bigger one. So any problem also it is easy for us to resolve. So instead of this, I copy this again and now I paste this HTML file. For smaller file, you can use the simple read file concept. So you can use that read file itself. So now I am reading line by line of this class2.html. I'll print here now console log reading line ln. I'm just reading the line and printing it, and then end of the line rl.on.close. I'm ending this line. This is called subscription. Event, I'm for this event I've subscribed. What is the event? Line, reading of line is an event. These are all the events. Line is an event, close is an event, pass is an event, resume is an event. All these are events. So for this event, you need to RL dot, you need to use on. On means I'm subscription, I'm doing a subscription to that event, listener, right? So let us run this. Run this. Now you can see here reading line, the division, etc., etc. It has just printed all the line. Document HTML, etc. It has read, finished. End of the line, I came to the end of the file. That means this got activated. When the file got, when the automatically it is got activated, right? So it can be done in that way. So this is subscription mode, event based, dealing with the huge file because it doesn't take the memory. Same thing for loop as well. This here I don't need this. I comment this for time being. I go from here another way. Same RL because the RL is nothing but an interface. I just put console log RL. Reading line. Capital letter I have given, just put line. That is line. So this is also okay for me. Here, when I say for, it is always asynchronous by nature because you are using line of RL. That means it can read one line before, one line later. That possibility is there depending on the process time that takes over here. In this case, it is just printing, so you don't have to worry about. In such cases, we need to use await. If you want line by line, it has to complete the job. That means I don't want to skip the line 1 to line 2, even line 1 if this processing is taking time. If process of line takes time, then and need to, when I say takes time, when it is say writing to the file, or when the process of line doing some asynchronous operation, then await will help to wait for completion of that activity before it moves to next line. Otherwise, without await, the asynchronous operation will happen parallelly. Multiple events will get created. Okay, so very important for you to understand. In case if this, I'm passing this to a DB, I'm reading the line, I'm transferring to the data to the DB, right? All that is called ETL operation in the big data. When you are dealing with big data, this is called ETL operation. So you may be transforming the data. The transform might take time because of the complexity of that content in that line, right? Accordingly, especially when you are dealing with the third party things, then this particular main thread gets freed up, so it will continue to read the other lines if await is not there. So it will be an async, that is called asynchronous operation. Okay, in this case, if I put await, it will always read one line at a time. When I do this, this is another way of reading the line. For loop, all this, make sure you have to put it in the try catch, within try catch. Okay, please remember that try catch is for all this, any file reading you do, for everything you need to ensure it is file catch is required. For time being, because I cannot use asynchronous in the main thread, await in the main thread, so I remove that. I put it back here. Always we create a function. RL is not iteratable. Oh, it's an interface. Yeah, interface. RL is not iteratable. Yeah, somewhere. It is an interface. It is supposed to work. Trying putting it inside the function. Still it is not allowing. Yeah, if I put await, it is working. So await cannot be used. So await has to be within this asynchronous function. So I created an asynchronous function, created a one function. Inside that, I made a file loop, for loop. Inside this function, I made this await. Once await is given, RL becomes a normal candidate, right? Asynchronous candidate. So these are all some of the things you have to be very much aware of when you are dealing with any of the asynchronous to synchronous operations. Okay, so now it has read that line and it has printed all the line content as it is. If there is a control n slash n, it will just leave the space. If there is no, it will just keep printing. So this is line by line. I have read it and then I pass that through two methods we have seen. One is subscription method, that is called event. I'm subscribing to the event called line and subscribing to that event. Another is close event. I'm subscribing to the close event. Once this event is complete, close event gets fired and I print this command once as soon as the reading is complete. So now I can, when we deal with the bigger data, so there are several ways you can do. Now I'll do one thing. I'll comment this page now. This area I'll comment it. I'll come back and open this. I'm just going to read a bigger file now. Going to read a bigger file. What I'm going to do is, if number of line, I'll keep increasing, plus plus. This is my incremental operator. It will increase by 1 at a time. If number of line is equal to so 10,000 lines, okay, 10,000, or I'll just say 1 lakh lines. I'll just want to say oral dot pass, PAUSE. I'm passing the reading of the line. So I'm then subscribing to that pass. Subscribing to that pass. If it is passed, I come here, right? Close, sorry, pass. So please make sure spellings are appropriate. Spellings you can refer to here, the PAUSE pass, PAUSE, right? Pass. If it is pass, I just copy this. So there is no spelling mistake, okay? Event on, what you want to do, there is nothing here to pass. I just want to say console log read, I'll use tilde, read dollar number of lines will resume in 5 seconds. Then I'll say set timeout 5 seconds. I'll say oral dot resume oral dot resume. So every 5 seconds I wait and then I'll resume the data. So when I read 1000 lines, so now I want to go to the bigger file. I don't want now smaller file. I'll go to the bigger file, which I've already kept it ready. So this file, it will have huge number of data. So it will subscribe to that file, reading the line. When it is read the line, I am passing the things. As soon as it is passed, when this is passed, it will come to the pass statement. It will say this much of file read so many lines will resume in next 5 seconds. Okay, then I'm after that oral dot resume, I'm giving it here. At this point, I'll just again reset my number of line to 0, so that it will, so total lines I'll have one more variable. I'll keep it one more variable as total line. Where I kept, yeah, number of line. Let total read lines equal 0. Start with 0. I'll just add it here. Total read lines plus plus incremental operator. So I'll put it now oral dot close. file reading completed, read dollar total red lines. So many lines has been read. File reading completed. It will close all the handles, everything it will close. The interface is nothing but a handle event. Interface is called handle in the Node.js terms. It is called handle. So we now read the bigger file. I hope this file, it is, please know, make sure it is case sensitive. It has to be in the same case as it is, as you are seeing it here. VM lot 643.csv. It is 744 MB of file, right? 1 lakh content we are reading. 1 lakh content. After 1 lakh content, we are waiting for pass, and it will pass. Whenever number of line reaches 1 lakh, it will pass. Once it is passed, right? Once 1 lakh is reached, it will pass. Once it is passed, this subscription gets called because it's an event, registered event. Once this pass is called, it will, what it does is it waits for a 5 seconds timeout. I'll just say 2 seconds time so that it will be faster in next 2 seconds. Okay, then number of lines, I'm resetting it to 0 because number of lines is getting incremented here. So it moves on and continues, and it will keep printing when the now read so many lines will resume in so many seconds. So this will get printed. So the only this much of console log is there. So console log, this I don't want now because it will be a huge task. So I'm removing this console log from here because that is not required for us. I just want number of lines read. That's all. I don't want what content it has read. I'm not worried because this data is a sensitive data. I don't want to print anywhere that data. Okay. Control Fs, did all, ready now. I'll execute now. Run. I'm in end of line. Oh, I'm in end of line is done before. So it is now reading 1 lakh lines. I hope so. No error has happened. No, the file is completed. Okay, sorry. It is something happened. Let me check here. What shall I do? Rl.ln. This print plus console log file. Just checking. I'll disconnect it. I'm in constant line. I'm in require read line. I'm in this is not required. Path upskill. I'll just put console log path P. I'll just put that. Stream P. Yes, it is done. Read line. Read stream input. Let something done. Console log number of line plus. Let us see. Run. Path is upskill. It's a huge file, so I don't want to open it. It is not doing anything. Pause, resume, oral.resume. Oral.on. Oral.on, pass. Then I have to do it. It is all not on course. Okay. Again, I'll run it. Try catch, if I put, it might have identified those issues. So I just Control C. I stop the run. I know it is working now. I'll stop the run. I'll remove this number of line, right? I removed it. Now oral, because I made it as oral.pass, which is not right. It is oral.on because I'm registering the event. Run. Now you can see read 10,000, 1 lakh lines, 2 lakh lines, 3. So how fast he is reading the file, you just imagine. 4, 5 times he has read, he has completed. 6 times, 7 times, 8 times. Almost within a second, he is able to read 1 lakh lines. Right? But when I put a console log, it will slow down. So that is why we have not put the console log. It is now going to the pass and then it is resuming. It is going to the pass, it is resuming, it is doing that job. Every 2 seconds he waits. So that is the speed at which now you will not get any memory at all. Memory will not be there at all. So if I try to go to task manager, if I go to and see the Node.js, this is, I'm using Visual Studio Code. This is the default Visual Studio Code memory. It is not taking additional memory. I can do it through Node also. Straight away from Node also I can run. Then it will become a command prompt. You can verify the memory of that command prompt. So I have a 700 MB of data, but I'm not reading the entire line. So it is 42 lakhs now. It is read. 43 lakhs it has read. So this is the power of event-based reading of a bigger file. This is because of these options available. It is extremely useful when you are dealing with file system objects, especially for ETL. That means extract, transform the data. Where this is done in most of your big data analytics, etc. This is all done. 58 lakhs of data it has read. Because it is 700 MB of file size. It's not a small file. It is not that file is taking a bigger, as the file goes to the higher volume, then it slows down. Nothing of that sort. It is independent of all that. These are all because he goes with the pointer reference. It is an internal architecture. We don't have to get into that in details. So with this file reading of file, we are completing the file system objects area. I'll just copy all this code for your reference. You just change your file name according to your need. Change your file name. This is the place I've started. It continues to work. I'm going back to I'm putting it in the questionnaire. Copy paste this code. This is for reading the bigger file. The file name, please refer to your area, whatever the file you can. Now you can see total file reading completed, read 97 lakhs 39,462 lines. So much of lines he has read. Right? In last, it was not 1 lakh lines. It has read 39,462 lines. That is the last block that it has read. 39,462. 97 lakhs is fully lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh. So it has not called through this RL pass. So it has came through this number of lines. And then once the file is completed, it is able to finish this line. So that is the way this is done. I hope it is clear. If you have any questions, let me know. Very, very useful things that we do it in our projects. This is the one of the way we can do it with the log writing, etc. We do it with the yesterday's concept, log writing, log reading, log file reading, because log file is generally a huge file. When I want to read the log file, we will use this concept, reading of a file. So I have a pause command, I have a resume command. So this also I can effectively use, because I don't want to load too much of data. I can give a breathing time to the hardware as well. So with this, we have seen how to do the pass, we cannot do that in the for loop. In for loop, once you started, it just goes, either you can come out of the for loop or you can just continue to do the for loop, either of that. You cannot in between stop. Okay, that is the difference. So you want to measure the time. I want to know how much time it has taken to read it. You can do that as well. That is called date function. Date function will resume tomorrow. So let me just take some questions. If you have any, please ask your questions before I continue. So any doubt, practice is the most important thing. You have to, especially the subscription concept is very new to this Node.js. So subscription is like this. There are two methods available. One is pull method. As soon as it is completed, I keep pulling. That means I only have to go and fetch the data. That means if you are having to be precise, if you want to put it in the realistic terms, if you are assume that you are purchasing some magazine, that magazine is, you are going to the shop every week and purchasing the magazine, because assume that it's a weekly magazine. You go to the shop every week and then purchase it. That means it is depending on you. That is called normal mode. That is called sequential mode. So here there is no subscription. You have to go to the shop every week and then buy and then come back. Whereas if you apply for a subscription, what it means, every week it will come to your house, either through post or somebody comes and delivers it, or courier. By some means, it comes to your house. So that means you are not waiting for that activity. It automatically happens. You continue to do your job. You continue to do your job, but it comes to your house without you put your time to pull the data. So that is what the difference between the subscription and the normal flow. But the for loop and all, or if you go and push, pull everything, you need to go to the shop, buy the material. Subscription means you just instruct them, you do it this every 20 seconds, please do it. It will keep doing that. So that is the subscription versus normal activity. Normal activity is you go and fetch it. Subscription means automatically it comes to your door as soon as it is available. If it is not available, it will not come to you. If as soon as it is available, it come to your doorstep. You don't have to bother about whether it is available or not available. I am not bothered. I just applied a subscription. This is called event based activity in the Node.js. So everything in Node.js is an event based activity. So every event you can subscribe to that event. Once you subscribe to that event, when that event occurs, it will come to your doorstep. If that event doesn't occur, it will be idle. So that means I am not checking again and again whether the event is happening or not happening. As soon as it happens, it will available. If it doesn't happen, it will be just idle. So it doesn't take any overhead or anything. If it is available, it comes to you to your doorstep. And his job is to just post it to you. He doesn't hold it. The subscription job is to just post it to you. Whatever the activity you say in the code, it will just perform that code. He doesn't hold anything. He doesn't hold anything. As soon as the line is available, he will do it. You have instructed him to pass, so he passed. That means at this time, no memory used, nothing is used. The memory is empty. Nothing is used. Right? So you have given what instruction you do, he will do the job. Is this clear? Please raise your hand if you are comfortable. If you have any question, feel free to ask. Very, very important concept. This is widely used in our day-to-day, especially in the big data. When you are getting into program, all this matters a lot. Okay. So with this now we completed file system objects as a one important entity in the entire thing. Tomorrow we'll talk about date time functions. Again, very important. We are now internalization. That means internationalization. We are in the dealing with entire world. We are dealing with globe. So we need to ensure that we deal with that time zone. So how I store the data, all that concept comes from the date functionalities. Date is another very, very important functionalities you all have to understand. How to deal with that is what we are going to see next in our next class. Okay. So any questions, please let me know. So exercises will continue after my session. Exercises will continue on this. Uh, Please, I request exercise team to give more exercise on file reading, different files with different sizes. Make them to create some dummy file size of 100 MB, 200 MB, and so on. And also try to give them one side it is doing the stream job, another side there is a normal job it is doing. Try to make some different functionalities in such a way. Just try to give some complications in such a way that they are thoroughly understand the normal flow versus actual flow. Okay, so I leave it at this now. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day. Bye.